everybody, welcome back to Glam-me-up. Today I'm going to be recreating Kim's entire makeup and hair look and everything for her wedding. I thought it was gorgeous. I just wanted to recreate it for you guys. This would be great to wear just every day, or if you are going to be getting married. If you came across this video, if you're looking for wedding looks, this is definitely a great wedding look and I really enjoy it. So stay tuned in the end and I'll show you how I did this headband and everything and the hair. I'm not going to do like a full hair tutorial demonstration, but I just kind of explain how I got it. It was really simple, nothing too hard or dramatic or anything. And then I just paired it with some earrings and then just this little headband. So check out the end if you want to find out how I did that. So let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So I'm starting off with a totally bare face because I wanted to show you guys the whole foundation and everything to really get the exact look. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off with the base because you want it to be poreless and really flawless looking. And my pores are kind of large around here, and then also this is also mattifying. So this is just the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base, and this is my favorite. Just a light pink color, and I just get a little bit on my finger right here and I rub it around my cheeks where the pores need to be concealed the most. Even around my eyes, and then I just bring it down. Alright, now that that's on really good and smoothed out and everything, I'm going to be using a liquid foundation for this. I normally don't really like liquid because I find that it kind of just rubs off and it clogs up my pores bad. But Kim's look is very dewy and fresh looking, and it's very like kind of flawless and almost airbrush looking. So I think that a powder foundation would look too cakey and it would be too matte looking. It wouldn't be like shiny and flawless and stuff. Not shiny, but like dewy looking, you know. So I'm going to be using this Neutrogena Healthy Skin liquid makeup, and my shade is in Buff, and that's number 30. I really like this foundation, and this is very comparable to the NARS Sheer Glow I hear, and the foundation that was actually used on Kim for her wedding was actually kind of like something similar to the NARS. I can't remember which one it was, but I'll have all of the products listed that were actually used on her, and then the ones that I'm going to use like dupes and stuff for that. So I can't remember which one it was, but I know that this is definitely a good comparison to the one that she used, or the one that was used on her. So I'm just going to be applying this with my Sigma Flat Top Kabuki brush, and if you don't have this, you can also use the e.l.f. powder brush. I just did a review comparing these two. This is very similar and it's only $3 compared to this one, but I'm just going to be using this one for the foundation. So I'm just going to pour a little bit into my hand here because it doesn't have a pump or anything. Just a little bit like that. And then I'm just going to stipple it onto my brush to get it even. And then I'm going to start applying it starting up here under my eye. And just dabbing it on. Pick up a little bit more. Start bringing it down. You don't want to use too much foundation because you still want it to be like young and natural and fresh looking. But you do want to make sure that you conceal any areas and have a flawless finish. So definitely make sure you blend it down into your neck. The only problem with this foundation is it is SPF 20, which is good, but for a wedding, if you're going to be taking pictures, you don't want to be washed out with the flash. So I would recommend getting one that doesn't have SPF in it. But this is a very good foundation for getting that dewy, fresh look. And I plan on doing an updated foundation routine soon. But it's not going to be using this foundation. This foundation looks really shiny right now, but once it sets, it's not that shiny. So I'm just going to take my Sonia Kashuk blending sponge, or if you have the beauty blender then that's fine too, and I'm going to take the side of it and just kind of get off the excess foundation and really blend it out nicely. This is also going to remove too much shine and just help it blend out nicely, especially around the eyes, and you can even use the tip to get it around your nose. So that just really helps to blend it out nicely, and it's not like super shiny anymore. Okay, so now to conceal, I'm going to be using my MAC Studio Finish Concealer. And if you want to use a cheaper one, then I recommend the Hard Candy Glam-me-upxo Concealer. This conceals really, really well. It's a heavy duty concealer. but I don't need that much coverage, and I'm going to just be using this one. It's a little bit lighter, but it still covers nicely. And you want to really conceal around the eyes good so you don't have any darkness or anything. You want it to be very flawless. So I'm just using my finger to conceal large areas. Then I'm going to take a concealer brush like this one and then just dab a little bit and put it on any blemishes or problem areas and just smooth it out with my finger. And then you want to conceal around the mouth really good, that way your lipstick's not going to bleed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. Okay, then to set out, I'm going to be using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, and this one is in light medium, which is actually too light, so if your skin tone's like mine, definitely get a shade darker than this. If you want to use a cheaper alternative, check out the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. I've tried that before and it is really well. It does work really well, so I'm just going to be taking this on a little brush like this, just a fluffy brush, and putting it under my eyes, just because it gets in the creases better, and then around my eye right here. And then around the nose, on the chin. And that's just for detail. And then I'm just going to take an e.l.f. Kabuki brush like this and just kind of dab it on my face all over just to set the makeup. Also take it down the neck. Okay, so now for bronzer, I'm going to be taking my NARS Laguna bronzer. You can also use the e.l.f. bronzer, works really well, or the NYC Sunny bronzer. Those are definitely cheaper alternatives that work really well. I'm just going to be contouring with an angled brush like this one, and this is almost all gone, so I just got to get it right here. And then Kim's face is always really contoured, so I'm going to be pinching it to make it skinnier, and then putting it right here, starting at the top of my ear, and pulling it down towards the lips. And if you pull in your cheeks, you can see right where you need to contour. Then I'm just going to be taking it up the temples like this, around the hairline, because that's really going to slenderize your face. And then down the jawline as well. And then I'm just going to pinch it like this and get right here in the nose. Her nose is very contoured. And you can even take a smaller brush like the one we were using for powder, like that, and just get a little bit and do like detailed, starting at the eyebrow and bringing it down, and then even right here around the nose, if you have a larger nose and you want it to look slimmer. So then I just like to take a big powder brush like this one and get some bronzer and put that on my neck. And then just blend it out with this brush. Okay, so then for blush, I'm going to be taking a really peachy, sheer kind of color. That's what was used on Kim, which is like a peach looking blush, kind of pink. I'm going to be using my Sigma blush brush for this. And I'm just going to be kind of mixing my own shade here. This is the Coastal Scents Professional 10 Color Blush Palette. I'm going to take probably this peach color right here and mix it with a little bit of the pink. And then really dab it off because you don't want it to be too pigmented. And then I'm just going to start this right here on the outside of my cheekbone and just kind of pat it down and then blend it out. And then you can bring it down to the apple of your cheek and blend it out towards your temples. Alright, then I'm just going to take my Kabuki brush again and then blend that out. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows, and hers are always very dark and defined and kind of thick. So I'm going to just be using my e.l.f. eyebrow kit, and I'm going to be using the darker color right here. It's actually supposed to be a gel, but it's more of like a cream eyeshadow type of consistency, not really like a eyebrow gel, I would say. So I'm just going to be mixing them in different areas to make it match good. So I'm just going to brush them out first. And she actually used a pencil on hers, but I don't have a good eyebrow pencil, and plus I like powder better. I find it looks more natural. So I'm going to be taking the lighter shade right here and then filling in this part of it with the lighter shade. And I'm just going to also take the lighter shade and go ahead and fill in the rest, and then I'll go back over it with the darker wherever I need to darken it up. If you want to kind of shape your brows, just take a Q-tip like this and kind of shape the powder the way you want it to go. I'm trying to bring mine more in towards the nose because that's kind of how hers are. They're a little bit closer together than mine, but just go by your natural brow shape. Now I'm just going to take the darker color and really define the arch with that dark color. I'm just going to be putting it right here, right where the highest point of my arch is, and blending it down. I'm just going to be setting my brows using my Maybelline Great Lash Clear Mascara Brow Gel. Alright, so that's it for the face and the brows and everything, and now I'm going to move on to the eyes. So I'm just going to start off with my Urban Decay Primer Potion just to make sure that the shadows go on really nicely and they last all day. I forgot to do the highlighting. I'm going to go ahead and do that before I move on with my eyes, so that way all the face stuff is together. So you can use any type of shimmery eyeshadow that you have for this, whatever kind of looks good with your skin tone if you don't have a highlight powder, or you could use like a cream color base or something. But I'm just going to be taking my Revlon Color Stay Mineral Finish Powder and Brighten, and this is what I always use for my highlight because it looks really good on my skin tone and it is affordable at the drugstore. And I'm going to be taking my e.l.f. blush brush with this because it's actually really small and it's tapered, so it's good for highlighting. And I'm just going to be putting this right here on my cheekbones, bringing it down towards my nose. Kim always has a lot of highlighting going on. And then right here above my brow, under it and above it right here, up like a C. And a little bit right there. I'm going to take some right down the bridge of my nose, and then right on my Cupid's bow. And you would also want to put it along your collarbone right here, so that would look really nice, like with the dress. Okay, so now moving back onto the eyes. Her makeup artist used one of the Lancome palettes, which are really good, are very comparable to the Maybelline EyeStudio ones. I've done looks on both of these. I will also have those listed below. The Lancome palettes, I've heard that they're very comparable to these, and these are really great quality eyeshadows, so I definitely believe that. The one that was used on her was a golden one. It had like some neutral golden shades and browns and stuff, and they actually have a palette from this brand in the EyeStudio line that is the same like colors and stuff, like the gold and the neutral and the brown colors. So if you wanted to get something that was very similar to that and it's also neutral colors that you could wear, I would definitely recommend picking those up. But since I already have two kind of neutral brown, gold, and shimmery palettes, I don't want to go out and get the other one just because I already have it and I would have too many shadows. So these are the ones that I have in those, but I hear that they're definitely comparable to that. But for my look, I'm just going to be using the Too Faced Natural Eye Palette because it's very similar, and then also the EyeStudio. These are like these are the original EyeStudio palettes. I think they're called like Silk or something. I don't know. This is the Give Me Gold one, so that's very similar as well. So I'm just going to be using these two for the look. So first of all, I'm going to be using this golden shade right here, and this one is called Honey Pie. And I'm going to be taking that on a flat shader brush, really packing it on the brush, and then I'm just going to be putting this all over my lid. It's a very pretty gold color and it's very pigmented. You don't have to worry about blending it perfectly yet. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in for the eyes. Okay, so now you can probably see better. Okay, then I'm just going to be taking the same brush and I'm going to take a little bit of this darker shade right here. This is called Cocoa Puff. And I'm going to apply this just right here to this outer part. Just a tiny bit. It's very pigmented. You don't need much at all. Like that was probably even too much, but we're gonna blend it out, so that's fine. I'm gonna hold my finger right here so it doesn't get all over the place, and then just kind of flick it outward like that. And now I just smeared it all over my face. Okay, so make sure you have clean fingers before you do that, because I just made a mess. Okay, then I'm going to take a fluffy brush like this one, and then I'm going to take this really light brown shade right here, and this is called Velvet Revolver. I'm going to apply this to my crease, just for like a nice wash of light brown color for some dimension, but not too much. You want to keep everything very simple. Nothing too harsh for a wedding. You can definitely tell that she's got some definition right here on this inner part, so I'm just going to take some more of that light brown shade and blend it down towards my tear duct. I normally don't do this because my eyes are smaller, but for the sake of this tutorial I'm going to. So that definitely gives your eyes that nice big round shape. I'll just blend all that out. Okay, now I'm going to take the highlight color, and this is just Heaven, on a fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to put this all over my brow bone. This also helps to blend out the brown. So now I'm going to take more of the gold shade, the Honey Pot one, and I'm just going to put that right here, just to add a little bit more shimmer to it. Alright, now I'm going to be taking an angled brush like this one. I'm going to be taking from this Maybelline EyeStudio one, and I'm going to be using this shimmery champagne color right here. And I'm going to mix it a little bit with the gold, just so it's like a warmer color. You could use the one out of here, but this is more of like a pinky peach color, and I want more of a yellow tone one for this. I'm going to put this right under my brow bone for a highlight. That's just a nice like golden glow color. And then you can also put this on your inner corners right here. I'm just kind of mixing these two shades. Okay, now I'm just going to take my highlight brush again and blend that out so there's not a visible line. Okay, now I'm going to be using that same angled brush, and I'm going to take the golden shade again, the Honey Pot. I'm going to run this right here on my lower lash line and kind of smudging it into my lashes. Then on the outside, I'm going to take the Cocoa Puff shade and apply this right here to the outer portion. It's not really showing up with that brush, so I'm going to take a smudge brush like this one and just kind of smudge it right here on the outer corner. That definitely works better. Just to give it that nice fade effect. Okay, now so for a little bit more crease definition, I'm going to take this angled brush again and take that Cocoa Puff shade, and I'm going to start it right here, and then I'm just going to flick it back into the inner part for like a V shape. And I'm going to blend that out with my highlighting brush just to soften it. Okay, then her makeup artist took a black, he actually used the CoverGirl Liquid Line Blush, so if you have that, then that's great, eye pencil. I don't have that one. The only one that I have that is similar to that would be the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil. Those are very comparable, I hear, but I just don't have the CoverGirl one. But if you have that, or you have any type of really creamy eyeliner, then definitely use that, or a gel eyeliner would work really well too. But I'm just going to be using my Urban Decay pencil liner and just kind of smudging it into this top lash line right here. Kind of tight lining, but kind of putting it on the lid too. So I need to lean in a little bit closer to do this. I wouldn't use a liquid just because that's a little bit more harsh. This is definitely going to be a softer look. Then you can tell in the picture she has like a very slight wing. It's kind of just flicked up a little bit, so I'm just going to kind of do that with it. Nothing too dramatic, not a cat eye or anything, just a subtle little wing up, just to kind of angle the eyes. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of this and put it right into my lash line on the bottom. Just a really little bit. We'll put a little bit more with the eyeshadow here in a minute, but just a tiny little bit to define the lash line. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the liner on my other eye. I think if you didn't want it to be as harsh, a brown eyeliner would definitely look better with this, but I'm just trying to follow it as close as possible, and a black eyeliner was used on her. But she does have dark lashes and dark eyes, so that's probably why. Alright, now to set that, I'm going to be using a black single eyeshadow that's just Max Carbon. Any black eyeshadow will do. We're just going to be setting it to make sure it lasts all day and to kind of soften it out too. I'm going to just be using an angled brush like this one, dabbing a tiny little bit, it doesn't take much, and then just dabbing this into my lower lash line. You can also just use this as liner for a really soft, natural look. And I'm going to be using the shadow to really extend the wing a little bit. It's not as harsh as taking the actual pencil and doing it. It's kind of softer and gives it a nice fade effect. So just kind of put your brush right there and kind of flick it out a little bit. And it kind of looks like it's extended further, but without actually using the pencil and making it a whole dark line. So I'm just going to press this into my upper lash line like this. Just going to take a Q-tip and kind of smudge it just to soften it up underneath and clean up any mistakes I might have made. And then just smudge that out with a Q-tip. Okay, so then to really sharpen up the wing, because in hers it looks like it's very defined right here, I'm going to take a clean Q-tip and go right underneath here and clean up any product that might have been underneath here. It's a very sharp edge. Then I'm going to take this brush right here and take a little bit more of that brown shade and just kind of go back. So I'm just going to draw a little line like that. And then just kind of blend it out. It kind of helps once you already have your eyeliner on to do this, because then you kind of have like a guide. I'm just going to be making like that V shape. Okay, so now I really want to clean up under here, because you don't want any fallout or anything, and you want it to be very precise, and you want the under eye area to be very bright. So I'm just going to dust off any fallout with my Kabuki brush here. And then I'm going to take some concealer. I should have actually done the concealer afterwards. That's why sometimes it's good to do your foundation after, but it's kind of weird doing it in that order, so I don't usually do it. I'm just going to dab a little bit like right here, like right there, and a little bit under the eye. Then I'm going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish again. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. Not a big one, but a small fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to dust that powder under here just to set it and to clean it up as well. Really just gives it a clean look to it. And then since some of my highlight got taken away with all that brushing off the cheeks and stuff, I'm going to go back over my highlight. I also forgot to mention it would be good to clean up your waterline, since hers definitely looks very bright and like white almost. So I'm just going to clean it up right here, because you don't want it to be too dramatic and have like any color on your waterline. And I'm going to add a little bit of white eyeliner. This NYX one's pretty good for it, because it's not like stark white. It doesn't really apply that much, but it still kind of brightens it up. It's just the NYX double-sided eyeliner and shadow. And this is just the white side. And then clean it off between eyes, because it was going to get dirty. So it's clean and white again. So that is it for the eyes. It's really simple. I'm just going to go ahead and apply a bunch of black mascara and curl my lashes and everything. Her eyelashes are really long and thick. It doesn't say that the makeup artist used any type of false lashes. She might have, I don't know. She probably just has really long, thick lashes. Lucky her. But I don't, so I'm just going to pile on a bunch of black mascara. And I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Voluminous Million Lashes Mascara. And I'm just going to speed it up through this since it takes me forever to put on mascara. So that really just helps to open up the eyes and look brighter since we have all this dark shadow going on. So now I'm going to go on and apply my mascara. Okay, so now I just got my mascara done, and I just kind of piled it on really, really thickly and make sure I dabbed it a lot on the tips to make them look longer. I didn't want to fool with false eyelashes. I wouldn't really want to do that for my wedding anyways, and I don't think Kim wore them for hers. I think she just has really long lashes. But this mascara works really well for making my eyelashes look very thick and voluminous, even though I don't really have that many. It definitely makes them look like I do. Plus the black eyeliner on the top tight line actually makes a huge difference to make them look thicker. So now I'm going to move on to the lips. Kim's lips were like a sheer peachy pink kind of color. The makeup artist used like a natural looking lip liner and then like a peachy lipstick and then a light pink gloss. So I'm going to be doing the same thing with the products that I have. This is the NYX lip liner in Natural, and I'm just going to line my lips real quick and fill them in. You could leave it just like this and then just apply a gloss over it. That will look really pretty, but I want to add a little bit of peach lipstick. This is my Revlon Color Burst lipstick, and this is just in peach. And I'm just going to be applying a little bit of this. I don't want to apply a bunch of it because it's just a sheer, she just had like a sheer peachy look. So I'm just kind of dabbing it on. And I love these lipsticks. They're very moisturizing. I have a bunch of them that I've talked about before. So then I'm going to be applying a little bit of NYX Mega Shine Lip Gloss, and this one is in beige. It's not beige though, it's actually a light pink color. And I'm going to be dabbing this to the center of my lips to make them look fuller and then blending it out towards the edges. So here's the finished look with the headband. I think it's super pretty. All I did was just took a necklace that I had like from prom or something, and I just like bobby pinned it up around the poof that I have, and then put my hair in a low bun and just kind of let some curls out and messed it up a little bit. Her hair was kind of slicked back and then in a big like fluffy bun, or not fluffy but like a slick back bun on the back of her head. I like mine kind of on the side just because it actually looks like I have some hair, but hers probably was like some sort of extension wrapped around it because it looked like she had a lot of hair, but mine is thinner, so I just kind of put it on the side and fluffed it up with the curls, and then took the necklace and just bobby pinned it around the poof like that. And it's just really pretty because it gives that nice touch just like her headband had. So this is the closest thing I could find just to kind of complete the look, to give you guys the full idea of what it looked like. So that's it for the tutorial. Make sure that you check out my blog. I'll have pictures comparing my look and her look side by side, and more pictures and stuff, and all the products listed. I'm also going to have a link to her makeup artist blog where he listed all the products he used and everything. That way you can kind of compare and see if you want to get the exact products that were used on her, if you want to get kind of the more cheaper alternatives like what I used. But it just shows that you can get the same pretty look without spending a lot of money, and then you don't have to get the exact same products. You can always just use whatever you have and kind of adapt it to what looks best on you, and then also what is affordable for you. There's no need to go out and like buy certain colors for this look or anything. This is a great wedding look. I think it's a little bit dramatic on the eyes, but it just depends on what your preference is. I would probably definitely wear this if I were getting married, but I know a lot of people like to tone it down a little bit. Also, I would wear this just every day. Of course, not with the headband and the hair and everything, but I really like the shiny peach lips and the peach cheeks and everything, and then just the smoky brown eye. I think it's really pretty. I would wear this out at night or just during the day or anything. So that's it for my tutorial. Be sure to check out my blog and check out my latest videos on my skincare routine and my outfit of the day for fall and all that kind of stuff. I'll have everything linked below, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And also leave your video responses below if you guys recreate this look. Bye, everybody.